We got some rumors circulating around the internet right now over potential casting for the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie that's set to come out, I believe, in 2027. And according to these rumors, actor Hunter Schafer will be up for the role of Princess Zelda for this movie. Now, this isn't anything new. In fact, back in 23, there was rumors circulating around about having Hunter Schafer cast as Zelda for the upcoming Zelda movie. Even asked about that, and Schafer said that, oh yeah, I would like to play the part of Princess Zelda in the movie. I was a fan of the games and just kind of along those lines. So it's not like these rumors are necessarily anything new. And I think a lot of it ultimately just comes down to fan casting and what people are speculating right now. In fact, you even saw this report that came out a couple of days ago, talking about the betting sites and other things like that. And right now, Hunter Schafer is in the lead, or as far as this, about being cast as Zelda, with Tom Holland, the top choice right here for the cast of Link in the movie. You can see the odds broken down, and the other contenders up for this, or at least according to these metrics that they have right here. But there's really nothing to go off of on this point. This is just kind of, like I said, fan casting, and there's always this type of speculation circulating around highly anticipated movies. I usually don't pay too much mind to it. I mean, sometimes I'll talk about it. In fact, I actually did talk about this particular subject around 2 years ago when it first came about, because I just think it's kind of something interesting, even if I don't think it's necessarily has a whole lot of merit. But it seems like when it comes to this latest rumor, there's, I wouldn't say more meat to it, but there's a little bit more of a development behind it, which is why I think it's kind of making its rounds right now online. The Legend of Zelda live action movie reportedly eyes popular pick to play Princess Zelda. A live action adaptation of The Legend of Zelda is currently in development, but as of now, no names have officially been announced as part of the cast. Rumors are swirling, however, and a new report suggests that one popular pick with fans is up for the role of Princess Zelda. According to industry insider Daniel Reichman, Hunter Schafer is being eyed for the role of Zelda in the live action Legend of Zelda movie. And I think that's where a lot of this is ultimately coming from, because before it was just speculation and fan casting and all that other stuff. And actually, I'm not even going to say it's fan casting necessarily. It's just people online saying who they want to play the role. That I wouldn't necessarily chalk them up as fans, but I have my reasons for why I wouldn't necessarily call them fans of the franchise per se. But that's a whole other thing entirely. But because of this supposed inside information, and I've gotten a lot of information, or I've reported on a lot of information from Daniel Reichman in the past on this channel. Some of it turns out to be true, others not so much. But even then, assuming that this information from Daniel Reichman is true, all it's really saying is Hunter Schafer is in consideration, not that he's going to be cast or anything like that. It's just what he's being reported on. So you can take it with a pinch of salt. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but it also doesn't mean that it's not going to happen either. It's just rumors right now, maybe just rumors with a little bit more meat behind it. Many fans have already called for Schafer to get the role, in part because of her physical resemblance to the iconic video game princess. And I don't think that's necessarily a good enough reason. I mean, yes, obviously you want the person to look the role, but I mean, there's a lot of other actresses out there, like actual biologically female actresses out there, who would look the role too. So I think that's kind of a poor excuse if that's really the only reason. Like, they're like, oh, well, we have to cast a trans person to play Zelda because there's no one else who looks the role. It's like, come on now. No one's buying that. What seals the deal for fans with the potential casting is Schafer acting abilities. Oh, yes. And there's only one person who looks like this who can also somewhat act. Yes, you definitely need to cast this person in the role. She has drawn praise for her role as transgender high school student Jules Vaughn in the hit HBO drama Euphoria. She is set to return for the show's third and final season. She also played Tigress Snow in the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and starred in the horror movie Kuko. Okay, well, there's Hunter Schafer for people who don't know. This would be cool, Schafer told Entertainment Tonight in 2023 about the possibility of playing Zelda. Like I said, this was already brought up in the past when it was really just people online talking about who they want to play the role of Princess Zelda. And Hunter Schafer even said like, oh yeah, I'd like to do that. but really nothing has come of it, or nothing has been more elaborated on that until now. No casting announcement has been officially made. It's possible that Schafer could end up getting the role, but nothing is official at this point, so Zelda could also end up being played by someone else. This will be a coveted role, and the voice of the video game Zelda, Patricia Summerset, has also expressed interest in playing the live-action version of the character. To be fair, I mean, she was fine in the game, but Patricia Summerset, I believe she's in her early 40s. A little bit too old to be playing Princess Zelda in this one, but still, respect though for what she did in the game. I actually did like her role in the game. Of course, the role of Link will also be sought by many hopefuls in Hollywood. One popular choice with fans for the role is Percy Jackson's in the Olympian star, Walker Scobell. And I don't know if you could necessarily have him and Hunter Schafer as Zelda, because I don't know exactly their ages, but I think their ages are close to 10 years apart. That really I mean, they're noticeably different in ages. It really wouldn't work because Link and Zelda are supposed to be closer to the same age on this one, or at least look similar. I don't think it would work if they had both those. So if they did Walker Scobell, it would seem like they're going for kind of like the late teen look for the characters. And if that's the case, then Hunter Schafer would probably not be better suited for that. But if Schafer is the role of Zelda, then they're going for a little bit more older look to it. So maybe you could cast someone like Tom Holland. I'm not saying him specifically, but just someone who looks a little bit more his age, still youthful, but not necessarily like a kid, so to speak. Though the actor himself seemed to be apprehensive about taking on the part if offered came his way. Okay, so that's really all we have on this one. It's just kind of rumors circulating around. And me personally, I don't think Nintendo was necessarily going to go through with this casting decision. I think it is just kind of information. Maybe the name has been brought up at some point. I mean, because an insider could report like, oh, this person is being considered, as in like their name was brought up in a conversation. And it's like, well, how did the conversation go? Was it like, hey, what about this person? They're like, no, we don't think that person would be the right fit. Okay. Then someone else hears like, oh, this person's name was mentioned during this meeting. And then you go on that. And then now you get people online who take with it and run and think like, oh, this person's going to be hired for the role. It's like, you don't necessarily know. So you just have to take a lot of this with a pinch of salt. But the reason why I don't think Nintendo would go through this with this is because we've seen in the recent past, a lot of studios have been trying to almost shift away from identity politics and other things like that. And while some people might say this isn't about identity politics, Hunter Schafer just looks right for the role, so they should just hire him, whatever you're going to call, hire this person for the role because they look right for the role and they can act the part and stuff like that. It's like, yes, I understand that, but let's be honest here. There's a lot of people pushing for this because they want to see a trans person playing Zelda in the movie, and that's really it. So I think it stands to reason if there's going to be people who are for this casting decision for identity politics reasons, there's going to be people against it for identity politics reasons. And we've seen at the box office these last couple of years, when movies that have the appearance of pushing identity politics, they tend to fail at the box office. And with an upcoming live action Legend of Zelda movie, inevitably going to have a pretty big budget behind it. They can't really afford to risk alienating people by what could essentially be considered stunt casting if they cast Hunter Schafer in the role. Now, there's going to be people who are upset if this person, he, she, whatever, doesn't get the role for the movie. So they're going to decide not to actually go and watch in theaters. And yes, they have the right to do that. But I think the people who are not going to watch the movie in theaters because they don't have a trans Zelda is going to be significantly fewer than the people who decide not to watch the movie because they have a trans Zelda movie. And I think when push comes to shove, if Nintendo was just going to do what they think the majority of the audience will want to do, they would try to cast someone who is actually biologically female as opposed to someone who thinks they're female. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.